Well, this has been a long time coming. Not the first time I talk about K-pop, but it's the first time I'm going to be combining my two loves, K-pop and Andrew Yang, together. And right now I have on the screen here, as you guys probably already know him, a dedicated Yangster or Yang Gangster, however you want to say it, David Cho. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Sorry if I pronounce your name wrong. Let me know how you pronounce it, David. But right here, as you can see, he was talking about like reparations, and which I may make a video about, because I really didn't know that this reparation debate was going to be so like essential to like the Democratic Party. But it is. I'm like, you guys know how I feel about it. But anyway, he was talking about that and this and this and this, but near the end, I thought it was so funny. At the end here, he was like, oh, I've been meaning to ask, what the fuck is K-pop? So I was like, okay, I'll make a video about it, sure. And it's been a long time coming, but today is that day for that video. You can see there's boxes back there because me and my mother are currently moving. But yeah, that should not get in the way of us and Yang. No way, no way. So here it is, and I'm gonna give a brief explanation on what K-pop is. If you guys would like me to make a separate video about that as well, I definitely wouldn't mind. But for right now, we're just going to just go over the basics. You know, when you're in this fandom, you kind of forget that like it is still like a niche kind of thing. Like it's not common knowledge for most people what K-pop is. So I'm like, wait, people still don't know what it is. And I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I'll explain it to you guys, because it does have something to do with Yang and what I want to do in the future involving all that. So let's go to, I'm only going to focus on one group because there is a lot of groups and a lot of different things I can talk about. But like the group that recently got me back into K-pop, because I actually took like a hiatus, and now this one group specifically got me back into it, and that group is Newest. Newest. There are 5 guys, Korean men. Okay, so basically, sure, I'll have like a you know what, I'm gonna be varied here with the videos I decide to play. But essentially, guys, while I scroll through this and you can have a visual, K-pop stands for Korean pop music. Okay, and obviously not all K-pop sorry, I'm dying because of allergies. Not all K-pop is in the pop, the traditional pop genre, as we probably know of pop in the West. K-pop is kind of the blanket term that people use to describe pretty much anything that has to do with Korean music, with the exception of some alternative groups / artists. Now, basically, anything that is K-pop is, I would say that this group is definitely a K-pop group because they are under a certain company. Now, most K-pop artists or groups are under a company. They're typically not independent, unless they get very, very big. But like, for instance, like your CL or your Hyolyn from Sistar. But you start out under a company, right? And under that company, you have to audition for it. And let's go to, oh wait, let me make sure my the music is not blaring. But under that company, you audition, right? And they hold these auditions all over the world at this point, even in America. I'm sure they do it in Europe as well, China, Japan. But the thing is that obviously when you audition, if you pass, you could be auditioning for either like a singing, dancing, or acting position. Typically, from what I've seen of like my experience as a K-pop trainee, they'll try to like encourage you to be a singer and a dancer more so than an actress, or an actor. Pickle. Oh, sorry, I'm getting distracted. I probably shouldn't. Oh, okay. Anyway, but either way, you're typically auditioning for a singer, dancer, or acting, like field work, whatever. And if you pass that, then congratulations, you will probably be enrolled in a trainee program. And if you're a trainee, that means you are training to be an idol. Typically, again, it's typically dancing and singing. So I'm gonna focus on dancing and singing. Now we're not gonna worry about the acting portion. I don't really watch K-dramas. I know it's controversial, but I don't want to get into them because I just don't care. But I probably would like them, but I just don't. I can't deal with it right now. Ugh. Mingy. Okay, anyway. So, I know a random goat. So, yes, you become a trainee, and when you're training, you're people that are professional, like vocal trainers or choreographers. They're training you to be the best at singing and dancing and being really good at facial expressions, which I guess is acting in a sense. Good at your facial expressions, your body language, or I'm sure your body posture. And while all this is happening, it's taking you like, it's getting creepy. I usually watch don't watch this music video, but it is a really cool music video for the most part. That just got really intense. Anyway, yes. So this training program can last from about I guess like the minimum is like 4 years, and that's like the minimum. Maybe it's even 5 years, but typically it's between, I'm gonna say, 4 years to 9 years. And it can even be longer than 9 years, but I think that's typical average length. And again, that's all you're doing through all those years. The company that you're under is investing like your living spaces. For the most part, it's the bare minimum, but your living space, your food, I suppose maybe some clothes, but I guess you have to probably fend for yourself on that regard. But yeah, you're really they're training you to become controversial. They're training you to become an idol, which is essentially a product that they hope that you will return on their investment on you. Okay, so. Listen, I know. Alyssa, why are you in what? Aren't you for really free will and stuff? Listen, this can be a complicated thing. Right, like I said, there's a lot of like controversial stuff happening in the K-pop industry as of right now. Specifically with YG Entertainment, that kind of has something to do with this. Like, okay, people abusing their power and, prostitution and illegal this and illegal that. Like, that's honestly, like, that's to be expected. I hate to diminish, like, something that serious, but that's, like, one of the things that, like, I think about first. It's like, okay, if an industry like this that is so incredibly intense and is just about, like, making sure, like, turning people into idols and into eye candy and into something to be desired, then yeah, there are going to be some crazy stuff that's going to be happening behind the scenes. Like, I'm sorry, I hate to I hate that, but it's real life. So now at this point, you're like, why are you even, Alyssa? Come on now, like, you're not selling me on this. And that video probably didn't do it. Well, I said I wouldn't focus on another group. I said I wouldn't do it. Well, let's do this then. Because after you become a trainee, and hopefully, this is not even definite, but hopefully when you're done this training program in you, and the company will assign a group you to a group. You don't typically choose your members like your traditional like a lot. This is a and I guess in Western culture, like if you are putting a group together or a band together, typically it's done. You guys probably like each other, or you guys probably know each other. That's not the case with with some groups like One Direction. They were put together like by Simon Cowell. Like they're like not every, but I think like in an American mind, we consider okay if you're in a band or if you're in a group, like you started out as liking the people in that group and you guys were friends like Queens. You became friends and then that turned into something more, okay? In K-pop's not the case. They will assign new members and you will have to work with them because you guys are the cream of the crop. You are the best at singing and dancing in the company, and however they rearrange it, I'm sure hopefully they do put together people based on like their personalities, I hope, but based on what I see with a lot of groups, it's probably not the case because you don't really get that harmony with a lot of groups. But the difference between a group like that and a group like BTS and a group like Newest is that, hey, they actually kind of like each other. Fuck you, Alta. I don't give a shit about your whatever beach bod bullshit. Clearly I don't. But yeah, so this right here, this is something that I think K-pop or like just K-pop fans really get themselves attached to in this fandom is that, yeah, like I said, there are some crazy stuff that has happened, is happening, will happen. But then you start to realize that like, okay, these people, most of them are trying to make a living. Most of them are passionate about singing and dancing, and most of them like their profession. And these guys really like each other. That's the difference between like Newest and a lot of groups. Like they actually do like each other. And this group has gone through a lot of bullshit. Like their company, Pledis, really, I believe, if my facts are straight, they mismanaged this group dramatically, and they started off hot and then they dropped in popularity. Now they're like rising again, and that as you guys know, I love that underdog story. But they'll like this right here. A lot of K-pop, when you become a group, typically you'll start like you guys have a channel on YouTube or something like that, and then like you'll like vlog. They like vlog what they do, like day-to-day life stuff, or they will like record them like practicing a dance or a song or something. But right now, like it's somebody's birthday. Whose birthday is it? I think it's Aaron's. Or what? Yeah, it was Aaron's birthday at this point in time. I think it was like, was it like May 22nd, May 23rd? Oh, JR is my bias. I'm sorry. I'll get into what a bias is in a second. But yeah, so stuff like this, like you don't really see this in a lot of Western culture or Western artists and bands. They tend to like just have their, and again, this is not like their private life. This is like a more like, okay, this is how you act when you're not on, and this is just adorable, because you really feel closer to them. That's the point. They want you to feel closer to these people, to these idols, these artists, and that's really special for K-pop, I think. Right. So, yeah, and again, because the company is investing a lot in each member, each group. I'll move on to like a music video that like this is not their first music video. Newest is not their first music video, but to give you a sense, a lot of groups coming up right now have this quality music video look, and a company will pour so much into a group in hopes that, again, they will return the investment when they become popular, when music show awards, which is just like online streaming. Like if your song streams really well on like Line or whatever the fuck, then you've done pretty well. I really forget what all the streaming networks and stuff. Mnet, album sales, so on and so forth. Then after years, you have to have a couple of hits now. After maybe I'll say 3 years, then you'll start to like really start repaying your company, because you're pretty much in debt for like for like years when you start this process of being a K-pop idol, because again, this company has essentially paid for your life, just you to be alive for, let's say, 6 years of training and 3 years after you debut, which is a debut. It just means that when you or your group first puts out a music video. Ooh, there goes Mom. Hey, Mom. So yes, I'm doing a video, so give me one moment. But yeah, so that is like a real struggle for K-pop idols, is that like they don't really have that much freedom, and like if you do get big, it's a really big deal. And that's why I'm like really championing for this group, because they have had a roller coaster of a career as of right now, but they are doing quite well. Because one of the indicators that I know they're doing pretty well is that they have won a music award, and they're going to KCON New York. Make sure my KCON New York. Oh snap! This is the first time NU'EST has come to KCON New York. And this is the first time that KCON New York was actually in New York. Before, it was in Newark, New Jersey, the Prudential Center. But this time it's going to be in Madison Square Garden, in Nashville, New York. And and all of that, along with NU'EST, like my new favorite group, probably ever. Yes, even above BTS. They are they're gonna be here, and I couldn't miss it. So now I'm going to KCON New York, and that brings me to talk about Yang. Now, I promise I'll get back to K-pop, but our boys at Linsight, I talked to them first on Twitter, because I'm on Twitter quite frequently now because of Yang Gang, and this guy, he directed me to this YouTube channel which him and I guess another buddy of his run. This is not like only about Yang, from what I can tell and from what they've said. This channel is just about like politics, cultural, economics in general, but of course, because Yang is such like a hot topic right now, they're really growing because of Yang, Andrew Yang's campaign. It's talking about him and supporting him, but they have a website, right? It's called FabluxElite.com, and they have designed this this business card idea for Yang. What they planned on doing is printing these out in bulk and stapling or attaching them to $1 bills, and then like leaving them around maybe like shopping centers, or like giving them to people. And I was like, that is an idea that I want to do. I'm just like, make sure I have plenty of battery. I was like, dude, I've been wanting to do something like that for you guys. You guys have no idea, like for months now. Because I like to give back, and I like to like just give gifts to people. Because I just find like I just get like a high off of like being charitable. Like I'm like, oh my god, somebody's really happy and surprised, yay! You know, I love that. So I'm like, wait a minute. I can give money and then like advertise Yang at the same time. It's like, ooh, okay, I'll definitely do that. And then hopefully I can okay, like they are in Philadelphia right now, so hopefully like we can do this together, but it's a busy time, so I'm not sure about that. But I did order my own cars right here, like 50. And what I planned on doing is going to KCON New York both days, and Friday too. Going to KCON and doing the same thing. It's like, oh snap! I'm sure a lot of people that are into K-pop are not into politics like that, and definitely don't know anything about other candidates and such and such. This is gonna be after the debates. The concert. The concerts are July 6th and July 7th. But I was like, you know what? I think if I gave like $1 bill and like a business card to somebody at KCON, which I'm pretty sure they're broke because they're at KCON and they're paying out the wazoo for concert tickets and t-shirts and food and whatever. Yeah, they're definitely gonna appreciate. It won't like change their lives, but they'd be like, whoa, who was doing this? And I probably want to do like dollar bill or like have like some $5 bills and then like maybe like one like $10 bill or something like that. So yeah, I probably listen. This is open. Like I'll advertise this. I'll record it, of course. But if any of you guys are into K-pop or in like the New York area, I'll definitely start posting more on like Facebook. On like the New York Yang Gang Facebook page. But if any of you guys are like into that and like want to join me, hey, I wouldn't mind. We can just like pass out these dollar bills or like hide them underneath like or like put them like in like a car windshields or something like that around the Madison Square Garden. Or we have to like have a ticket to go in the convention, but it's like $40 including tax. So I mean, if you're really into K-pop, that's worth it to you. $40 for both days. But yeah, guys, so that is my grand plan, and I'm really excited. I'll do more videos about this, explaining the details. If you guys are really interested, and some of you guys want to come with me. But yeah, shout out to Linsight, of course. Subscribe to them because they make me laugh. Shout out to Newest, and shout out to Yang Gang. Alright guys, that's it for today. Thank you and talk to you later. Bye. 안녕.